Super was a rapper.
Oh.
He came to my bedroom. He wanted me to get him on because I was doing big parties at the time. He's like, yo, I want to rap. Can you put me on stage? I'm good as hell. He started rapping. I was like, okay, it's good. But then we started playing some music, and he started singing. Like, what the fuck is you doing rapping? You should be singing. He's like, word to me. I was like, yeah, you should be singing, bro. That was it, right?
Wow.
From there, I hooked him up with my boy
Follow
Small,
Me.
and Follow Me was produced.
Wow.
Follow Me is still playing.
yeah.
Now they'll play that
Yeah.
in Charlotte.
And it's funny because I keep telling people, we had this discussion last week that, don't be so hard on the babies of house music because they have to grow. They're like with anything. Like you said, the first time you really got that beat in your system was from Follow Me.
It was Follow Me.
Right.
And
so,
it just grew
right,
from there.
and it grew from there. So everybody has their stages. The problem I had, and this I said this last week, was I have a problem when people get to that stage where you're at right now, where you're playing all that deep, soulful stuff, and they get somebody new that don't understand it. They don't want to introduce them to it. They want to look down at them. You ain't a house head. You ain't thorough. You ain't down. Come on, listen. How do you groom people to become house heads?
Well, yeah.
How do you start? Where does it start?
I'm gonna get back to that. I'm gonna finish my story, but I'm gonna get back to that on that.
All right. I went on a rant. Sorry.
Well, I was listening to it, and I think I put on the radio one night. It was a Friday night. Club America came out.
Oh, my favorite
It was
spot.
live from Club America, and
My
I remember.
favorite spot.
See, I have a good memory, so I remember all these
I went
things.
there
And
once. I didn't like it.
I remember that what's her name was performing. She performed Russian.
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 Janet Rushmore.
Yeah. And the thing I loved about Club America, they had the way where to connect where you heard it in the system, and there's a way to connect when you heard it live with the crowd.
Okay.
So I listened to them, and the funny thing was, Timmy was after them. I think after Club America, right? He's on the same station. I never heard Timmy. So
right.
I used to run and listen to Tony Humphries.
Okay.
And then Hot 97
Yeah,
had
boy,
Louis
Tony.
Vega.
Yep.
And Louis Vega and Frankie Knuckles at 12 o'clock.
Yep.
Because it used to be
Wow,
Hot
that's
97.
right.
Because it was Hot 97 was
You're
all
right.
house music.
You're right.
So that Friday night, I was up in there as a little kid, like, wow.
Right. Yeah.
Back and forth. So doing that.
Like a kid at the candy store. You
I'll
hear
listen-
that?
I'll listen-
Wait a minute. Do you hear that, folks? Do you hear? That's why I like when guys come on and keep it real. He was new. He was new to it.
I was new to it.
And he was like a little baby, like a little kid. He was happy as hell.
I was happy with that and taping all of it.
See?
Taping all of it.
So don't be so hard on the new
He had a
ones.
cassette tape.
Cassette tapes of it. 90 minutes. It got to a point I used to go to my mother to store, like, I need 100. I got 60.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, all right. Then I saw 90. I was like, what is 90? What's this?
Yeah.
I saw 120. I was like, oh, man.
I'm getting it all now.
I was making sure not getting the commercials.
Yo, I
But,
got tapes upstairs in a box that have not even opened up the box.
Really?
Wow.
Since I've taped them, I have not opened up the box, and I refuse to even.
Wow.
I don't even want dust to get on them.
So I listened to it.
Because I'm going to break them bitches out one day and get
and,
paid.
And get paid on them?
Yep. You watch.
So I listened to all the years. I think it was a time of point that I was, I think actually my sophomore year. No, freshman year in high school. I said I want to DJ.
You said you
So I bought turntables. I used to go record shopping. Now, the funny thing was, it's just a shame I'm gonna say this, but it's the truth. Back then, my brother used to DJ, but he knew all the guys in Jersey City was all my brother's friends.
Okay.
And my brother was like, hey,
Basil was one of his friends too? Was they hanging out?
I knew
'Cause
Basil.
Basil from JC,
I know
right?
Basil very well because I went to school with his daughter.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
he knew me as a young kid. So, yeah.
With his daughter?
Yeah, his daughter.
Shit.
I went to
Basil
school.
old as shit.
Nah.
You old ass Basil.
So,
Thomas, right?
At
It was
that- at
Thomas,
that-
right? Thomas was his last name, right?
I think
Is
so.
it Basil Thomas? Yeah.
So at that era, I was working in the city a lot, and I was record shopping, but I couldn't find. No one wanted to show me dance tracks or satellite. I was going to Rock and Soul. So when I was going to Rock and Soul,
yeah.
but Rock and Soul in downtown, I was going.
They were just
down-
scraping the surface, like
they really wasn't deep.
Right,
so I was
right.
buying a whole bunch of hip hop, and I was buying some house, but the house was like the white labels.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have the loving the message and stuff
all
like
the
that.
booty bootlegs.
It was good
distorted
stuff,
shit.
but it wasn't like that dance tracks like How Deep Is Your Love.
Right,
So at that time,
right.
the era of 1999 and 2000, I was
Okay.
at least spending $100 a day on records. Because Because I was working in the city. I was making like crazy money as a bar. I was
It wasn't
bartending.
nothing. Wasn't nothing. You dumping it, right?
But you had to carry all them records.
Hey, this is
know,
the
right?
dedication.
Yo,
So I was
I wasn't making money, and you look under there and look in the garages. And
I think I was
too many
looking
fucking
for.
records. Trying to
I
get
was
rid of
getting
this
that
shit.
Nork. I was getting like that bar stuff too.
Okay.
So I remember my boy told me, there's a store over here on Irvington.
Because
in Springfield.
118s were like really good too, like 116, 118 tracks. You're talking about beats per minute, right? Yeah, that low tempo.
So I went to a store on Irvington. There was a record store back on Irvington.
Right.
On Springfield Ave back in the day.
Damn, I can't think of the name.
But I remember buying my big first thing I brought.
Right.
Now I bought a lot of house records.
Okay.
But deep to me, the one first record I wrote that was real deep. I fell in love was Kenny Bobian's album that had I Shall Not Move. It had he had a compilation.
Right.
So I was just buying records, but my brother used to ask these guys, and they was like, because I was young.
Right. Yeah, step
Like,
back.
hey,
Yeah,
whatever,
step
hey,
back.
Step
yeah.
back. Now they come to me like Mark.
Yeah, I love it. Don't you love it?
I still love him. I don't
Yeah, I
treat him
know.
different. But I actually was doing it, and I actually stopped DJing in 2000.
In 2000?
I stopped in 2001. There's a picture of me up there because I was in a DJ competition.
I saw that picture. On
Yeah,
Facebook.
I stopped in 2001, and
I
I kept collecting, and because I got upset because I didn't want to do hip hop, I wanted to do house music,
Oh,
but I couldn't find
no place to do it.
Right.
I couldn't find the records. No one would tell me. My brother didn't really know either.
Okay.
And the funny thing was, I was in the city. No one told me where the shelter was at or nothing. I found the shelter later on.
Right.
So at that time, I just stopped, but I kept collecting. But it was a time I went on a boat ride, and I remember hearing Naeem Johnson play.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought this. I bought a whole bunch of CDs.
Right.
I said, man, I needed this.
Right.
And I remember it was like, at that time I was listening to Timmy was on Kiss.
All right.
Mhm.
And he was on Kiss. So I was like, I was getting back into it. Like, I love this music, but I want to hear more of it.
Right.
And I remember, and I gotta say that if it wasn't for this person, I think, well, it's two people. This one person made me meet everyone in the scene. If it wasn't for his connection, I went over to Newark, and I had Naeem Johnson CD, and I went to Newark. I went downtown Newark 'cause I used to go shopping all the time. And I went down there, and I was like, hey, anybody know how I can get these type of CDs from? And I was walking to these vendors.
Right.
And he was like, nah, my man Max. His name was Max.
Yeah, that's my boy Henry.
Max Henry.
Yeah.
Is it Max Henry?
It's
Not
Henry.
Max.
It's Henry. Henry is really his name, but
He's not
everybody
down-
call him Max
He's
now.
not down there no more.
No, he's not down there.
Yeah. So the Max you talking about that for me back in the
Yeah,
okay, all right,
Henry.
So someone said Max, so I went to Max, and I remember going to Max.
Shout out to Henry. He used to work for me actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with was it Movement or Underground Dreams? One of the two.
Yeah.
He was helping us do. No, it was the Movement because it was with Nick Jones
Oh yeah.
and Jihad, and Henry was helping us.
Because
out
he
with
used
that.
to be
Yeah.
So I remember Max. I said to Max, I want this CD. It was a Naeem Johnson CD, and he's like, man, get that out of here. He likes Naeem, but he's like, man, get that out of here. I got Omar Abdallah CDs.
Ooh.
I was like, well, Omar Abdallah, who's this guy?
Yeah.
So I actually was living in Jersey City because I'm from Jersey City,
Uh-huh.
and I used to buy at least $100 worth. I was
$100
like,
worth of CD?
what?
Wow.
Mixed
Because-
CDs?
Huh?
Mixed CDs?
Of Omar Abdallah, because Omar made so many CDs.
Oh yeah, he was
So
a
then
whore with
I
that
was
shit at
buying
one time.
Omar and this other DJ called Rock Nice, because Rock Nice
Who the
was
fuck is that?
Rock Nice is no, he's right, he's known.
He's known?
He's known because he's from people know who he is. Rock Nice, he used to be
Tammy, I
outside.
don't know who
You
he
don't
I
is.
don't know Rock.
But I used to buy a whole bunch of Omar CDs,
Okay.
and
Shout out to Rock Nice.
so from like good 2 years, I bought Omar CDs and was collecting all of them. I moved to Newark in 2002.
okay.
When I moved to Newark in 2002, I told Max, I'm here. I've been moving north. I was actually down the block, and me and Max started being cool. Max introduced me to Jihad's party, the movement,
Okay.
up on that block.
Yeah.
He took me there because I lived at Pavilion.
All right.
And we was going there partying. Then Max was like, yo, we're going to go to the shelter. When I was like, shelter? Like, I heard the shelter live on the radio. I was like, shelter?
Right,
Where?
right.
We went 7 in the morning and lost my mind. I was
Hubert
like,
Street?
Nah, it wasn't Hubert Street. It was on 39th Street.
Oh,
They
39th.
just moved to 39th
They've
Street.
just moved it.
And
So
I
you
was-
never got a chance to experience
I
Hubert
never got
Street.
used to I know. So when I got to 39th Street, I was like, what the heck? So Max, and then one night, Max took me to a party, and there was a guy named Gary Gardner. You know Gary.
I was about to. Yo, that's one of my questions. What happened to Gary? I haven't seen Gary lately.
Gary's out. Gary's working.
He's around?
Yeah, he's been
Is he
around.
promoting still?
Nah,
Like
he's
doing
chilling. He
events?
works at the shelter with us.
Yo, he was a good promoter, man. I like.
Nah,
really
he's
like.
chilling. We got something working. We got
You,
something.
yeah, get him busy again.
But I went to his birthday party and I met Omar.
Okay.
So I remember I had Omar CD. The funny thing, I didn't even know who Omar was, and Omar had some like a box of CDs, and people was like, "Oh, Omar, they got this." He told me, "Go help them," and I actually knew every CD, and they was like,
Right.
"Do you know this song?" I was like, "Oh yeah, it's on this one." You know this song, and then I just started being his little brother. Ever since then, it's just been me and Omar's been close. He's actually the
Wow.
godfather of my son. Yeah,
Really? Is
Really?
he still he making CDs?
yeah, he
though?
makes CDs. Yeah,
They
That's a
supposed to
good.
let him down
That's a good
north?
brother to
that's
have,
my
though.
brother. That's my brother right there. Because if it
And
wasn't
listen,
for
that's
me,
what
then
you was
Matt.
buying all his CDs and
Now-
Do you
now.
know who Omar Della is?
No, I heard.
He's
I got some of his
He's
CDs.
Kareem.
Oh,
He's Kareem Allah's
yeah, he's a
son.
professional kickboxer.
Oh, really?
He's a
He
personal
is-
trainer too. Yeah.
Bro, sis, let me tell
Uh-uh.
you something. He will knock a motherfucker out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So doing that, I've been under Omar, and I used to hang out with him, and I did promotions on parties. So I always
Okay.
been in the party scene because I did Sweetie's party. I used to do
Sweetie, shout out to Sweetie.
did her parties. I used to do the G Spot with Gary. So I
Right.
already knew the scene
Right, right,
about
right.
it, and I always was collecting. So I got more into it when I brought my computer.
Right.
In that era, the computers came out.
Mhm.
So I used to be on LimeWire downloading.
Oh,
I used to take the
all
Omar.
night, right?
I used to get the labels off Omar. I was like, y'all like this song? And download it. And I just started collecting a whole bunch of music. And when I started collecting, I was finding different stuff that people didn't know.
Right, right, right.
And then I used to give it to Omar and give it to like people that was close to me. And then I actually wound up happening. I used to play basketball and I bumped into Adam Rios.
Adam.
And Adam Rio, me and Adam Rio used to play ball all the time until one time I went to the shelter. I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I don't go to the shelter. I'm Adam Rios. I said, you're Adam Rios.
Oh shit.
So
Wow.
and then
Yeah.
and
And
we
you didn't even know why y'all was
You
playing
didn't know
I
you
basketball?
was
didn't
hanging
know.
out playing ball with him and
I
everything.
didn't know. So we exchanged numbers, and I had so much different music, and I was like, yo, Adam, check this out, check this out, check
Right,
this
right,
out. And he used to get it because at that time of era, the music changed where the people not getting promotions no more, like CD promotions.
Right.
So he started giving the music to Timmy, and Timmy was like, where you getting this music from? Like, nobody's finding this stuff. This is different. And then he told him he was getting it for me, and Timmy called me and said, come work with him and be like his A&R.
Right.
Nice story.
Wow.
So ever since then,
What?
I was
Let me
under
ask.
Timmy, and then he asked me to start DJing, and I said,
Nice.
"Well, one thing I gotta give a shout out
What?
to is Beloved. Beloved is the one
What?
that forced me out, cause I was DJing in the house, but cause the thing about DJing was I had to actually get back in from vinyl to CDs.
CDs.
So I had
That
to get-
transition was like
the
different,
transition
right?
is hard because you got to get your ear back.
Right.
And
Right.
Beloved, I actually skipped it when I went to computer first.
Uh-huh.
And Beloved was like, yo, because me and Beloved is very close. And
Right.
I was used to get on him. He's like, yo, you going to play my first party? Like, I ain't ready. He's like, you ready? I've been hearing you. You've been sending me the CDs.
Right,
I was
right.
making CDs on the low.
Right.
And you're ready. And he put me in the party. And I stunk. To tell you that the party was packed full of people.
Right.
Because everyone likes me and everyone was there and
Right.
enjoying.
Right.
I feel like I stunk. Everyone said I because I couldn't mix my ear. Because you gotta realize, my first time playing out in front of
Right.
people,
Right. Right.
the pressure. You gotta see these people like standing in front of me like this.
I know,
Yeah.
like them.
With the bass under
With
your
the-
And they
feet.
don't even be dancing.
With the bass under your feet rattling.
Yeah, and yo, it was so bad that when I got on, I lost my glasses. Like I was like this, like where's my glasses at? I'm looking on
Oh,
the floor,
no.
and I'm
Take
trying
my
to mix.
headphones.
And the thing about it, what I didn't do, because on the computers I didn't know this.
Right. Right.
I'm thinking the CDJ would tell you the beats per minute,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
supposed to be in the computer.
Right. Right.
So
right.
I'm over here like, it's not coming
Looking
up.
for it, right?
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
coming up.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not coming up. I'm getting all scared. I was DJing like the next song coming in. I was like off beat too.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
people
yeah.
was like, and you know, and I give a shout out to Yvette and my crew, my
Right,
Jersey
right,
crew,
right.
because they heard me, and they said, Mark, we believe in you. You're gonna be nice.
Right.
It's just that it's your first time. You haven't been out in a while. So that time of era, I said, you know what? I called Beloved that week. He's like, man, don't worry about it, man. It's okay. You just gotta figure out, get your ear back in.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
burned a whole bunch of CDs and went to Beloved house, and he just left me in, and I was just getting my practice on. And then it's always good to know people. My story's kind of long, but it's gonna be over real fast.
Okay,
That's
okay.
I'm enjoying
Yeah.
it.
But I met a guy named Chuck Mosey. Chuck Mosey, if you never know who Chuck Mosey is, Chuck Mosey introduced me to Smooth.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And he introduced me to a good friend, Mark, that I've been working a lot of music with, Mark Lewis.
Okay.
Okay.
So he introduced me to Smooth. So in that transition of getting my ear together and practicing, another thing you DJing, you have to play out a lot.
Right.
Right.
Because if no one's gonna give you burn, because everybody heard me stink.
Right.
So everybody like,
I ain't ready to put him on. Yeah.
and I didn't give up. So everybody was like,
Right, right.
Beloved didn't give up on me. Nobody,
Right,
but
right, right.
I had to get myself. So Smooth was like, he heard me. I played at Omar had a party, and I just came down to play at Air 43rd. And I was still a little bit shaky. And Omar, Smooth said, hey, come play with me. And I was like, oh, okay. And I went down there in Mentors and started playing. And then Tyrone Francis booked me to open up, and I actually got over there. Was in New York, so I was hyped up because now I can just be me a little bit more. And I just Tyrone give me that opportunity, and Smooth give me the opportunity. I just grew me because I was playing every day.
Right.
Every day I was playing. Every weekend I was DJing. And
You know, my finest moment for you, like when I thought, like I was watching you too, like getting into the DJ, but I thought one of your defining moments was when you did Sunday House Blessings.
Sunday House Blessings.
The one you used as your picture, as your profile.
You know, the thing
like
about that
you
story.
played your ass, and
But
that was the day that everybody
You didn't know.
heard sometimes.
But did you know about that day? What happened?
What?
That's the day I lost my brother. I lost my brother the day before that.
Oh,
I'm sorry to hear
wow.
that.
So that
Sorry.
my brother passed away. I was in Brooklyn at a gig and I got a phone call. Actually that was the first time I played at Tyrone's party.
Okay.
And I was ripping it and I got a phone call. My brother passed away, and I actually went over there. And that Sunday,
Right.
that Saturday, that Sunday, I had that. You told me to come there. And
Right.
Adam, what came with me? He's like, you still
Right.
want to do it? I was like, nah, I need to get out and play some
Right.
music.
Right.
And I actually came there and
Bruh,
played some
and
music.
you played
You know,
very well.
To tell you the truth, was so
I
funny.
thought it was a defining moment because you know what?
You know,
I look
gotta-
around.
I agree because
Yeah.
you know why I say that. I felt like when my brother passed away, something came to me. It's like when I was DJing at Tyrone, it's like my ear was still getting there, but I couldn't put things together right away.
Okay.
So I was trying to figure out. I had to. It just felt like when I got to your thing,
Mhm.
it just clicked.
It clicked. Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, this is easy now.
Mark,
That's
I'm
what it
telling you,
felt.
because I
really,
heard you.
really-
I actually heard you
Uh,
before then,
uh,
and then when you played at the party, and then the response that you was getting from the people, and then when you played sometimes.
yeah, it's the first time we played sometimes.
Right.
But sometimes